YogaTuneUp micro-region routines are highly specialized quick-fix support therapy, focusing on the areas of the body that tend to give us the most trouble. Areas such as the neck, shoulders, back, and hips often tighten, seize, and pull because of overuse, underuse, or poor posture. These areas give us the most trouble because they hold the most blind spots. Those are regions within your body where you may not know there's a need for some conditioning until it's too late and the pain sets in. These micro-region quick fixes are designed to quickly tune up the specific joints, muscles, and connective tissue that make up the particular region for which the routine has been designed. The sequences are derived from remedial exercise, physical therapy, yoga, and massage. They're structured to basically floss your joints, literally taking them through their full range of motion in order to lubricate, stretch, and strengthen all of the muscles and connective tissue in that area. Now please select your first micro-region and let's find and heal those blind spots. Jill Miller, creator of YogaTuneUp, and welcome to YogaTuneUp. YogaTuneUp is an intelligent, whole-body health and fitness system that heals damaged muscle tissue, increases overall strength, and bolsters the immune system. It combines elements of yoga, calisthenics, and body therapy, helping to restore physical imbalances, improve coordination, and increase flexibility, all while relieving painful injuries and reducing stress. YogaTuneUp provides a systemized workout program that helps you strengthen and tone your muscles, regulate your nervous system, and relieve aches and pains. And with the YogaTuneUp at-home program, you'll get a customized series of workout routines where I'll be coaching you through each workout. Every month, you'll get new workout routines sent direct to your doorstep on DVD. With YogaTuneUp, it truly doesn't matter if you've never done yoga before or if you've been practicing for years. It's also okay if you've been a bit inactive lately or you're a seasoned endurance athlete. The YogaTuneUp at-home program is specifically designed to work with your body type and your experience level. Each month's workout routines build on the work you've done the previous month, creating a systemized progression of advancement for your overall strength, stamina, and endurance. And to keep you focused and on track, we provide you with an online diary and scheduler where you can monitor your progress, schedule your practice times, and get helpful support reminders. For direct support, you can ask questions in the forums and participate in the monthly teleconferences hosted by certified YogaTuneUp trainers. Come along and join the thousands of others who've benefited from YogaTuneUp. If your shoulders feel tight and restricted, here's a 5-minute quick fix to jumpstart better circulation and movement. This series warms up the shoulders from every conceivable direction and awakens the rotator cuffs and major muscles of the shoulder. You'll need a block for this series, or you can use a phone book or dictionary. Let's get started. We'll begin by standing in a wide-legged Tadasana and rolling our shoulders. Imagine that your arm bones are like 2 dental tools, and you're using your arm bones to roll all the plaque out of your stiff shoulders. Massive, massive motion. More rolling than you ever thought was possible from your shoulders. Go ahead and reverse. Often, when we are stagnant and stuck in our muscles, it's because we're lacking circulation. So when we do circular movement, we get more circulation. Good, and release your warm shoulders. Next, we're going to circle our shoulders again, but this time laterally. Clasp your hands right in front of your chest. Use your left elbow to pull your right arm as far across your body as you can, trying to keep both elbows level. Finally, the right arm becomes stronger and it pulls the left arm as far across as possible. The right elbow bends and then the left elbow takes over. It's like you're stirring a great big cauldron of soup. You can imagine that you're holding on to a massive ladle, a big lead ladle, and you're stirring a gigantic pot of a very healthy brew. Go ahead and reverse the directions. Now, at every point in your stirring the soup circles, there's tension. There's tension from arm to arm at every turn. And that's going to help to strengthen the infraspinatus and teres minor rotator cuff muscles, as well as these pecs that are working like crazy. Good, and release. Next, we're going to expunge all the stale blood from our trapezius muscles. The trapezius encompasses nearly the whole backside of your body, and it's shaped like a stingray. Inhale, lift your shoulders high up, pinching them into your neck. On exhale, squeeze the uppermost portion of the shoulder blades together, lower down a ways, find the middle portion, lower all the way down, find the bottom tips, pinch them together, and then release. Again, inhale, lift your shoulders all the way up. Exhale, squeeze the uppermost portion, lower, find the middle portion of those trapezius. Finally, all the way down, find the bottom tips. You can even pull your elbows back to find more, and release. Do you feel that wash of blood going through your whole back? It's that easy. Next, onto the double arm circles. This is just to help loosen up motion. You'll make circles that cross in front of your body. Each time you circle, a different arm goes in front. Nice, graceful circles. No drama, just easy, light, and breezy. And then circle in the other direction, taking the shoulders through a range of motion. Easy, light, and breezy, like a fan. And release. Next, we'll challenge your pec muscles. Grab your block and bring the block straight off of your shoulder sockets. Press your palms firmly into the brick. You want to try to wake up your chest muscles, those pecs. Bend your elbows, and then start to bring your elbows in towards each other while you press firmly against the brick. You want to start to feel some cramping or some contracting here right at the chest. Keep that going, and then start to raise the block as if you're raising a chalice up to the heavens. Squeeze in between your hands, trying to crush the block, move your elbows together. Keep reaching higher and higher and higher, all the while creating tension in your pecs. Finally, straighten your arms all the way up, and then release. What a relief. Take the block away, and now to stretch the pecs, clasp your hands behind the back for bridge arms and standing. The two palms clasped together. If you can't clasp the palms, you can also hold on to a strap here, and then raise your arms upwards. Now, your arms may not get quite as high as mine, but that's not the point. You're putting them in the same direction of movement, and that's going to help open up your chest and free up some of the muscles at the head of your humerus here. Breathe deeply, raise your arms behind your back, and then finally release. And that's your 5-minute shoulders yoga tune-up quick fix. This yoga tune-up for your shoulders probes more deeply into the complex motions of the shoulder and reshapes the arms so that movement is fluid and functional. These shoulder strengtheners and lengtheners will prepare your arms for any type of exercise. You'll need a block for this work, but you can also use a phone book or dictionary. After shoulder toning from inside out, Your series concludes with some relaxing massage work with the Yoga Tune-Up therapy balls. Stand in a wide-legged Tadasana. We'll begin with the pranic bath. This is an exercise that tones the entire shoulder, elbow, and wrist region at once. Inhale, bring your two forearms together. Bend your elbows. As you exhale, wrap your arms back and around behind your skull. Invert the hands, pointing them up, and describe a circle beyond your back that you can't see. Stay with me with this. I know it's interesting. Inhale. Raise your arms up, bend your elbows, scrape your hands along the skull. At the back of the skull, the wrists flip, hands reach straight up, and then describe a circle behind your back beyond your peripheral vision. Inhale, arms come up. It's a continuous movement, elbows bend. Hands scrape along the skull. At the back of the head, the wrists flip, backs of hands touching. Shoot the arms up and out, describing that circle. Inhale again, arms come up, elbows bend. Hands scraping along the skull, invert the hands, continuous movement. Arms describe a circle, and continue. Inhale, scraping, flipping, reaching, taking your arms through their full range of motion. The shoulders, elbows, and the wrists all have to integrate and coordinate to do this movement. It's one of the best all-around exercises there is for your arms, without using weights or anything like that. Good, and release. Next, we'll tone a very special muscle. It's the long head of the tricep. It's the muscle that everyone doesn't want to see when they're waving as they age. Inevitably, the back of our arms start to fall a bit. So here's a muscle exercise to deal with that. Reach both of your arms back behind you as if someone were pulling you away. Try to not let your back be the thing that's falling back, but it's just your arms and shoulders pulling back and away from you. Next, draw the two shoulder blades in towards each other so that the arms come closer together. So you're reaching back, the shoulder blades are squeezing together, and then you begin to reach the two arms up. Keep reaching your arms up as you migrate the thumbs closer and closer together. Finally trying to get the thumb tips to touch without breaking your elbows or without breaking your wrists. This is a fun proprioceptive exercise, just to see if you can find your thumbs behind your back without looking at them. And in the meantime, the long head of your triceps will be contracting like mad to assist you. And then release. Next, grab your block. Lift your block up over your head for blockhead. This exercise both helps your external rotators to stretch while strengthening your neck. Bring your block behind your head and then pull your head into the block at the same time. While you're pulling your block into your head and pulling your head into the block, begin to move your elbows in towards each other. You're trying to actually touch the elbows together in front of your eyebrows. Now, if you have really long arm bones, you may actually be able to do that. I don't, but I'm still feeling this nonetheless. Elbows are pulling in towards your temples. Pull the block into the head and the head into the block for blockhead. Good, and release. It's a great stretch to open up the deepness in your armpits. We all want deep armpits. Next, strengthening further the deltoids and your rotator cuffs. I call this railroad piston arms. Shoot your arms straight out in front of you, fingers and palms wide. Next, you want to begin to circle both shoulders in turn, just as if the shoulders were the driving shaft in a railroad piston wheel type of deal. Roll each shoulder. This is also kind of a challenging coordination, and then reverse the circles. The shoulders, the arms, they're going to start to feel a little sexy here. The shoulders will feel a little bit like a shimmy. Try to eliminate any additional, hip rolling, but just keep this going in your shoulders and the arms, and then reverse it again. One direction is going to be easier than the other, even for your yoga tune-up teacher. Good, and release. Next, come down onto the ground for reverse crucifix. Come down onto your abdomen and cross your left arm right underneath your chest and follow that with the right arm, so they're both doing the exact same motion. Both palms press into the ground, and then walk your body forward just a bit. Allow your chin to either duck into your upper arm, or you can allow the head to fall down into the floor. Try to press both of your thumbs into the floor. This is going to be a very dramatic stretch for your upper trapezius, your rhomboids, the deltoids, the infraspinatus. You name a muscle on the back of your upper back, it's being stretched. Slowly release and switch. Right arm under, left arm over, creating a cross with your arms and your torso. Wiggle your body forward, allow your head to fall, and breathe. Breathing into the upper back. Good. Next, we'll stretch in the absolute opposite direction. This is called open sesame. Lay face down and stretch your right arm straight off to the side. This is called open sesame. It's a big stretch for your pecs. Roll over onto your right side and continue to roll as far as you can so that possibly your lower back is on the floor. Now, you may not be able to get as far as I am, but wherever you get stuck is where you stay, and you'll get a nice stretch across your chest. If you have even more flexibility, your top arm reaches up, and then it seeks out the bottom arm. Now, it's not necessary to touch here. You're just looking to get your opening wherever you need it. Switch sides. Left arm out, rolling over onto the left side. Now also, if this is too much stretch, even here, you can bring your arm down into a narrower angle. That might be a safer position for your shoulder if it feels like it's getting pinched. Or you keep your arm at 90 degrees, press your feet into the floor, roll over onto your back, open that arm, backs of hands touching, breathe, and finally release. Press yourself up to standing. Next, take your right arm and internally rotate it so that it comes back behind your back. You want to press your forearm into your back firmly. While you press your forearm into your back, try to roll your shoulder down and back. It's going to be very challenging to try to move the head of your humerus back in this position. We're just trying to get a greater stretch of our internal rotators in this position. Press your forearm into your back, press your core into your forearm. It's as if the backhand, the right forearm rather, is doing the backhand in tennis. And then switch sides. Left forearm comes to your back, you press into the lower back, you roll the left shoulder down and back, and breathe into all of this opening here at the head of that humerus. Good. Release. Next, take your right arm up, bend the elbow, and pat yourself on the back. This is actually not about patting yourself on the back, but it's about stretching that long head of the tricep. So now you take your left arm and pull the right elbow back a bit. Now your elbow may not go right behind your skull like mine is. You may get stuck somewhere here. That's a perfect place for you to stay and stretch. If you do have more range of motion, you may be able to draw it a little bit further back. And if you can, lean your head into your arm. This is a lot like blockhead, but it's doing it with your own arm. Lean your head into your arm to stretch. Good, and release. And of course the other side. Reach your left arm up, bend the elbow, pat yourself on the nape of the neck, and then your other hand comes up, drags the elbow back behind, and you breathe. Breathing right into that armpit. Lean your head back. One more breath, and release. Good. All of this going towards a very famous yoga tune-up pose. It's called the cow face pose. Internally rotate your left arm, and you're trying to walk the fingertips up your back. those fingertips are going to be met by your top hand's fingertips, and then you clasp. Or not, even if you can't reach today, you do want to keep practicing these openings just to keep your shoulders healthy. Go ahead and switch. Right arm internally rotates, creeps up back behind your back, and top arm reaches up and over and reaches to touch. Often, one arm will be a lot easier than the other. So that's totally normal. Just keep your exercises up. Keep tuning it up. Now, let's unwind with a little bit of a massage for our shoulders. Come on down to your back and grab your yoga tune-up balls. Bring your shoulders, or rather your balls, into two positions to help relieve the muscles of your shoulders and your upper back. You'll roll the balls down about 4 inches, and then you'll roll them down your back about 6 inches so that they land close to the bottom edge of your shoulder blades. So for our first position, take your balls and place them just a couple of inches, 2 or 3 inches down away from the top of your shoulders. And then rest your head back down on the ground. Inhale, bring both arms all the way up over your head. Exhale, return them. Inhale, rise. And exhale, return. Back and forth, arms reaching up and over in a flexion. And lower. Good. Last position, reach your hands behind your head, chug your body so that you land with the balls very close to the bottom tips. Place your head back down on the floor and bring your arms down by your sides. In this position, we'll make snow angels. For your snow angels, the arms stay on the ground, elbows bend, and it's as if you're making beautiful shapes in the snow, trying to keep the backs of your arms on the ground the whole time. This is going to stretch your chest muscles quite a lot. Lay here as long as you like, but that's the end of your Yoga Tune-Up 10-minute quick fix. If your neck is feeling tight and limited, try this quick fix routine to lengthen the major muscles that harness your skull to your torso. At the back of your neck, we'll target the levator scapula, a likely culprit for creating muscle tension, because when that muscle contracts, it hikes the shoulders up towards your ears. At the side of the neck, we'll work the sternocleidomastoid, the major guy wire that latches your neck to your collarbones. We'll also loosen some other minor muscles and connective tissues so that your neck becomes loose and pain-free. Let's get started. The neck often harbors a lot of tension stemming from poor postural habits and long hours gazing into a computer monitor. The neck's issues are frequently interconnected to tensions originating in the upper back. Your 10-minute neck tune-up brings you through a series of stabilization exercises that help align your head's placement on your spine. You'll improve your neck's rotation and be treated to a penetrating massage with the Yoga Tune-Up therapy balls. So let's get started. Sit someplace comfortable, either a chair or your coffee table, or you can even sit on your couch. To begin our stretches, take your left palm, flip it palm side down underneath your seat. Inhale, reach your right arm up and over and pull your head down towards your shoulder. Press your left hand down into whatever you're sitting on. You can sit on the edge of a coffee table here, or your couch, or a chair. Breathe into the side of your neck. Continue to press into your seat and then drift your chin just slightly forward a bit to target the muscle from another angle. Good. Slowly release your hand. Let your head float back up and change hands. Palm face down. Inhale, left arm up, and pull your head towards your shoulder. Press your right palm into the chair. You want to breathe into the side of your neck as if the side of your neck had gills. Breathe and soften the side of your neck, and then tilt your chin down. Breathe, opening up into a few new fibers of that levator scapula. And then release your hand. Let your neck float up. release your other hand. The next muscle that we'll target is called the sternocleidomastoid. You can see mine here. It starts at my collarbone and is very firmly distinguished all the way up to the back of my neck here, near the occiput. You can either use a rubber yoga tune-up ball or your hand. In your right hand goes your hand or the ball, and you place it to the outside of that sternocleidomastoid, and then twist, looking over towards the left as you pull against the muscle. Inhale, look to the right, go up a little bit higher with your ball, and then turn, pulling the ball or your hand across the muscle as you turn, cross-fibering those firm muscles. Up one more level, and then pull as you turn and twist. Switch sides. Right sternocleidomastoid, come to the outside of it. Inhale, and as you exhale, turn and twist. Reset to the middle of the muscle, a little bit higher, turn and twist. And last time, up even higher, close to the occiput now, and turn and twist. Good, and release. Next, we'll target the front of our neck, getting at the scalenes and another thin muscular layer called the platysma. Take both hands and press them against each other. Use them to pull the front wall of your neck down against your collarbone. It's almost like you're trying to pull saran wrap really tight over your favorite casserole. Turn then and look up towards the right, and then aim your chin upwards. You're going to give yourself an underbite here, and that's going to activate that platysma. So you'll look a little bit like Marlon Brando in the stretch. And then release. Switch your hands. Again, pull up the front of your neck so that you drape down to that collarbone, and then turn and twist, moving your chin upwards. Give yourself the underbite and feel all the heat just pouring from your neck from those tight, thin muscles at the front of the neck. Lastly, we'll duck our chin all the way down to our chest, interlacing our fingers behind the head for neck flexion. First, just let your hands and gravity help to stretch the back of your head. Then try to create an isometric here, pressing the hands against the head, and then the head is trying to lift up against your hands. Now, if that creates pain, please don't do this, back off. Otherwise, keep a little bit of tension there to try to build some strength within your stretch. Finally, release your hands, and then just allow the ligaments of the neck to pull your head up, just like a giraffe. You'll feel light as air, and the head will feel like it's floating in a cloud. That's your 5-minute Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix. We'll start by stabilizing your neck from every conceivable angle. First, take your hand and press it firmly against the right side of your skull, near your ear. Create an isometric contraction by pushing your head into the hand and the hand into the head. Release. Other side. Press your left hand into the head and the head back into the hand. It's as if the head and the hand are having an argument, and neither one of them are going to win, but you are ultimately going to win, because this is going to feel great when you release it. Next, bring both hands to your forehead. And again, pressing. Hands into forehead, foreheads into hand. This will strengthen the front of your neck. Then release. Hands come to the back of the skull. Now, this isn't a pressure that you want to overwhelm either the arm muscles, the neck muscles, or the head. You don't want this to hurt. So first you start off with about 20 to 30% of your capacity. And over time, you can build up as you feel that your neck muscles are getting stronger. Come now underneath your chin. This is the old 8th grade graduation picture where you're on the wagon wheel. So now you push your chin into your hands and you pull your hands up into your chin and release. And then finally, bringing your hands to the top of your skull. The skull is pressing up into the hands, and the hands are pulling into the skull. And release. The next exercise I call the when no means yes. You'll be taking your head through a range of motion from side to side and also from up to down as if you were saying yes within a nod. First, turn your head all the way over, saying no across your right shoulder. Take your right hand and place it right on the back side of your left jaw. You're now trying to turn your head towards the left, but the hand won't let it. You create resistance there. And then release. Look over to the left, saying no, and try to turn your head towards the right. Just about 5 to 10 seconds, each position, and release. Now, turn your head no to the right, but then start to nod by lifting your head up to the top of a yes. Hand goes into the same place, and again, you're trying to say no while you're starting to say yes. And release. Hover your head to the other direction, no, and now you begin to say yes. And again, you're trying to say no with your skull, hand resisting the neck, neck resisting the hand, and release. Float all the way back to the right, chin down at the bottom of a nod. Hand to the face, twisting, breathing, strengthening your twisting capacity, the rotators of the neck, stretching and strengthening at the same time. Last position, chin down, hand to the cheek, twisting, breathing into all those working muscles, and then unwind and breathe. Feel the heat and the progressive straightening of your neck. Next, we'll move on to stretch the levator scapula. That's that shoulder blade hiker muscle. Take your left palm and place it underneath your seat, underneath your left buttock. Right hand comes up and over and helps to stretch open the side of your neck. Press the left palm into your chair so that you get even more opening deep within the side of the neck. Change your positioning. Tilt your chin down just a bit. Deep breaths into the side, back of the neck. Now you're tracking into a few other fibers, and you may feel the way the levator muscle attaches on 3 of these cervical bones, 3 of your neck bones. It's a very busy muscle. Release your hand. Let your head float up. And again, right hand, palm face down. Inhale, left arm up. And on exhale, tipping your head to the side. Now, it's very important while you're doing neck work that you not corrupt the rest of your spine. So you don't want to be doing all this fabulous work for your neck. Go ahead and tilt down now. But then the rest of the spinal bones lose their integrity. So as best you can, you sit upright while you're doing your neck stretches. Last breath in. Good, and release. Allow your head to float up. Take your other hand out of the way. Now, a lot of our neck issues often stem from our upper back. So we're going to do a few positions with our YogaTuneUp balls to help to unwind the upper back. The positions that we're going to be finding in our upper back are as follows. In the first position, we'll be rolling right along this upper ridge here. This is where our upper trapezius muscle, our levator scapula, and one of our rotator cuff muscles called the supraspinatus are all bungled up. This is position 1. Our position 2 is further down the back, very close to the spine. So you want to reach down about 3 or 4 inches, and our balls will be placed there. And then finally, we'll place the balls right in the middle of our shoulder blades. And I'll help you get there when we're there. So rest on your back in Ardha Shavasana, and you'll want to have a block nearby. You can also use a phone book or a big dictionary for this as well. Take your block or your book and place it underneath your sacrum. Once you have your sacrum in place, grab your balls and place them on the upper ridge of your shoulders. Surely there is a place on the upper ridge of your shoulders that's feeling tight. So you want to find the area that has the most bungled tension. Lay there for a moment and breathe. Breathe into that tension and let the balls work into that for a moment. Next, I'd like you to create what I call the shimmy. The shimmy is a side-to-side motion that helps the balls to rub right into the knots in the uppermost portion of the shoulder. Breathe deeply. It's going to feel a little bit gnarly from time to time. You may want to reposition your balls from time to time as well to keep them rolling along that ridge. Lastly, in this position, lift your tail off of the brick if you're able to, and create the chug motion. In the chug, you move your body up and down so that the balls roll up and down right there at that ridge. Good. Take your block out of the way and set your spine back on the floor. Wriggle the balls so that they're touching each other and now rolling down into that second position. So they're about 3 to 4 inches down your back, well away from your neck. Down here, a lot of the muscles that often get tight when our neck is held out of place. Set your skull back down to the ground, and then begin to move your arms in what I call phantom arm movements. It's almost as if they're a divine force helping to move your arms. So you use as little force as possible, your arms almost floating. And what this will do is it will massage your body, your upper spinal muscles, right around the ball. So you get a nice massage. Let's go to one more position. Lift up your head and then chug your body so the balls roll down your back another inch or so. And I just got, you couldn't hear it, but I just got a nice little crack in one of my spinal vertebrae. It's a great relief. And often that will happen. You don't want to force something like that, but if you're in a stretch and you hear a bone click or pop and it gives you relief, then that was a free chiropractic adjustment and you don't need to pay for it. In this position, reach your arms straight up and begin to reach up towards the ceiling, separating your shoulder blades. This is called protraction. And then slowly lower your shoulder blades so that they touch the balls. Inhale, arms rise, filling your lungs. Exhale, emptying the lungs, pulling the shoulder blades together. Just a couple more like that. Inhale, rise. Exhale, together. Last time, inhale, rise, and then slowly wrap your arms around yourself. Give yourself a huge bear hug. And try to press your upper back into the balls a little bit more. Boy, does that feel good. Roll yourself off the balls, taking them out of the way. Oh, wow. Feel all that space between your upper back and neck. All those spine bones just boom, 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 laid out. And that's your 10-minute yoga tune-up quick fix for your neck. If you have aches and pains in your upper back, a few concentrated simple moves may be just what you need to loosen it up. Deep breathing is essential here to help unlock the long strip-style muscles that hold our backs together like so many strips of duct tape. When these large strips of muscles tighten, they restrict our breathing and compress our spinal bones. This series will help open all of those areas so they are pulsing with heat and motion. Let's get started. Upper back pain is often caused by the static nature of modern life. Sitting at desks, cars, and planes creates stiffness and lack of circulation throughout our body. But the upper back is especially taxed because it bears the burden of carrying the weight of not only your head, which weighs about 12 pounds, but backpacks, children, and oversized purses. The back is full of body blind spots, and they truly are blind because we can't see our backs. In this series, we target the many muscle groups that hold the back together. There are vertical strips, the erectors, horizontal strips, the rhomboids, and side and diagonal strips, the lats and serratus. This 10-minute series interweaves both functional strengtheners and innovative lengtheners, along with the fabulous massage action of the YogaTuneUp therapy balls. Let's get started. comfortably, either at the edge of a coffee table or on a low seat. You want to be able to sit so that the soles of your feet are flat on the floor to help keep you grounded. We're going to be doing some very deep breathing in this series, and you're going to need that rooting as we build the series. Interlace your hands behind your head and neck. Inhale and arch your upper back up towards the sky in a cow stretch. On exhale, draw the abdominal muscles in and pull your heart towards your spine for a cat stretch. Inhale, fill your chest, arch your spine, especially your upper spine. And on exhale, empty as you pull your heart and your belly in towards the back of your spine. Each movement larger than the one before it, trying to articulate all of the bones of your spine, especially those upper back bones. Inhale and exhale. Good. Sit upright. Changing just a little bit. This time, we inhale as we twist and arch towards the right, spiraling the spine. On exhale, keep the spiral as you come into the cat tilt. Inhale, open into the cow. Exhale, empty. Squeeze your heart towards your back. Inhale, open. Your spine like a string of pearls, opening and then closing in the opposite direction. One more like that. Inhale, inflate. And exhale. Good. Spin around to the center. Twist towards the left. Inhale, arch. Cow. Exhale, contract. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale. Exhale, increasing the twist. One more. Inhale. Exhaling. And then hovering back to center. Good. Feel that movement in your upper back. Next, going into super slow side bend. Sit upright, keeping your spine as long as possible, and then slowly let your head fall towards the right. Follow that with your shoulders, your ribs, your arms, all the way down to your waist. Keep your left buttock on your chair. You just want to let the rest of your body hang over so that you get a feeling of being unplugged throughout the whole of your spine. It's like all the spinal vertebrae are going to separate and unplug themselves from the one below. Breathe. Good. And slowly come up. Doesn't really look like a deep stretch, but boy, can you feel it. Inhale, and then on exhale, tip over to the other side. We're trying to aerate the side of our upper back now. Head, shoulders tip, arms like a rag doll, falling off towards the side, keeping your right hip down on your seat. And make sure you're not slumping here, but that your body's actually falling directly to the side. Breathe, unplug, and then finally come back up. Plugging into our computers and our cell phones is part of why we get so much upper back pain. So let's unplug. Again, bring your hand to the stool and inhale, coming over to the side bend with your arm. This time use additional force of the arm. Breathe into your armpit, unplug, and then come on up. Remember, your arms are attached to your upper back, so it's nice to open up your shoulders when you want to loosen up that upper back from tension. Over to the other side, reach, press your hand down into your chair as you lean, finish it off, inhale, coming up. Good, and finishing your quick fix with one last stretch. Scoot to the edge of your chair, separate your legs a little bit wider. This is my favorite. Simply fall over like a rag doll, letting the whole spine fall towards gravity. Here you want to feel that gravity is a good friend, and gravity is taking your spine and pulling each of the bones, tractioning it out for you. All you need to do is hang and breathe into all the space in your upper back. One more huge breath. Breathe in. Let it out. Slowly roll your way up to sitting, stacking your vertebra. And that was your 5-minute Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix. We'll begin on all fours for the cat and cow tilt. Inhale as you drive your spine up towards the ceiling, just like a frightened cat. On exhale, dip your spine into the cow tilt. This is spinal extension. Inhale, coming into spinal flexion with the cat, pressing the ground away, pack your abdominals in, and inhale, lower your spine. Feel the whole spine dropping down towards the floor, eyes glancing up the ceiling. Inhale, spine up. Exhale, spine down. 2 more like that. Inhale, coming up a little more swiftly. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Fluid motion, down. Good. Sit back onto your tail, coming into the side-leaning child pose. In child pose, take your left arm and throw it as far across your mat as you can go. Palms splatting down on the floor. Then, lean your body towards the arm, helping to pull open the outer border of your shoulder. Breathe deeply, trying to open up a muscle called the serratus, a muscle called the latissimus, and a muscle called the teres major. Good. Release that. Take your right arm and throw it across, almost like you're fishing, casting a line, and then lean back. You can rest your head on your upper arm and try to get this side border of your armpit pulling apart. Lean your weight that away and breathe into it, stretching the side of your upper back. Good. And release. Next, an even deeper stretch for your upper back. This is called twisted child. Coming up again onto all fours, take your left arm and thread it in between your right arm and your right thigh, reaching as far beyond you as you can go. Finally, the left shoulder rests on the floor. Once you get to the floor, your right palm presses into the floor and tries to then roll you back onto your back. This is going to give a great stretch to all those strips of muscles that act like duct tape up and down, side to side on your upper back. Breathe into it. Good. And then come up onto all fours. Switch sides. Right arm casts through, threads right through, and then you lean into the right side of your upper back. Breathe into the back of your ribs. See and feel them expand. Breathe again. Spread those ribs. Good, and release. You're using your breath here as a tool to stretch. Lay on your abdomen now for the Shalabhasana Mini-Vini. This is going to help strengthen your upper back. Your hands come right next to your chest. Take a deep breath in, and on exhale, pull your chest and your legs off the floor. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, pulling your body away from the floor. Find your upper back muscles. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Trying to pull the backs of your shoulder blades together, trying to almost clap the backs of your hands together as you lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come down. Good. Now reversing that. Exhale here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, inflate and lift, just like a balloon. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then release. Good. Press back. Come onto all fours for one last all fours pose. This is called the drunken table. You're like a table that's missing two of its limbs. Reach your left arm alongside your ear and then reach your right leg straight out behind you. Don't let your back collapse. Instead, draw your abdominal muscles in so that your back is like a tabletop, trying to firm up the core muscles and the spinal muscles. Good, and release. Switch, right arm alongside your ear, left leg straight out, and balance. Make sure here also that you're not just lifting your leg into the air to try to get it higher. You want the left leg and the right arm to be as level as possible, and your back flat. Good, and release. Next, come back down to your abdomen for cobra in traction. Lay on your belly, press your pubic bone to the floor, contract your buttock muscles. Roll your shoulders down and back, and inhale, traction your body forward. There's no need to straighten your elbows here. I want you to just try your best to bring the ribs further and further away from your lower back while squeezing the shoulder blades together. This is going to firm up significantly the muscles in your upper back. Last breath in and slowly lower down. Good. Press back. Come into sitting for easy seated side bend. This will help to unwind your lower back, just in case it feels a little sensitive. Crossing at the ankles. Inhale, reach your left arm up. And on exhale, lean over towards the right. Use your right hand to help balance you. If you have more stretch, you can bring your elbow all the way to the ground and increase the stretch. Good. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, switch sides. Palm on the ground, or if you have the reach, forearm on the ground. Breathe, stretch, open, release. Come on up. To conclude your quick fix, we're going to massage your upper back. This is my favorite part. Grab your YogaTuneUp balls and lay on your back. You'll place the YogaTuneUp balls in two different positions. The first position is the very center of your shoulder blades. The second position is the bottom tip of your shoulder blades, which I call the psychic bra strap line. It's where your bra strap would stick to your back. So place your balls at the very center of the shoulder blades. That's right in the middle of your upper back. A lot of people get knots there from staring at computer monitors or hunching down to pick up a newspaper. Once you find that position right in between your shoulder blades, reach your arms up. Inhale, separate your shoulder blades, reaching up towards the sky, and then exhale, draw the shoulder blades together, touching them against the balls. Inhale, inflate your upper back, and exhale, bring your shoulder blades back together. You're using your breath here to help carve into the muscles of respiration that line the back of your rib cage. Often when we think of breathing, we think our belly and our chest. But you know, the muscles at the back of your body move too when you breathe, and they also help to create a better and better breather in your body.
Now cross your arms, give yourself a hug, and start to squirm a little bit as you breathe. Squirming, roving and rolling against the ball, loosening up those upper back muscles.
Good, and release. Track down so that you're at the bottom tip of your shoulder blades, bottom tips of the shoulder blades at that psychic bra strap line, and then open your arms out in a trident shape. Breathe into your chest and your back. fingertips pointing up. The trident is like a pitchfork. And then begin to rotate the pitchfork so that the fingertips point down. So now you're alternating the prongs of the pitchfork, down and up. You're welcome to stay on your balls and roll as long as you like. But that's the end of your 10-minute Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix. We begin with the hula wave in our forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. This is just like those beautiful Polynesian dancers who make those wonderful undulations in the wrists, the hands, and the finger knuckles, articulating them so they look like streamers. Now, we do have a lot of joints in our hands and our fingers, but often we're not using them to their fullest potential. So you want to find the fullest wave that you can through the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. And it's also very fun to watch your hands make this motion. Go ahead and now reverse your wave. Reverse your wave, just like those hula dancers. And now I'm going and doing a little bit more of a dance, moving my hands from side to side. You don't have to do that, but it's very inspiring to follow this wave of movement. And you will begin to feel more and more motion as you go, curling and diving like little dolphin hands. Good, and release. Next, I call this piano fingers. Palms face up. You want to articulate one finger at a time, curling them into a fist and then opening. Pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky. One finger at a time. If you do a lot of work with your hands, it's always a good idea to double down on the strength of your hands. And also, if you're recovering from a rotator cuff injury, a elbow injury, or carpal tunnel, it's also good to get this articulation, one finger at a time. Good, and now reversing it. So we go thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. Thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, pinky, ring, middle, index, thumb. And see if you can get a little bit more of a pace with it. It's interesting, isn't it? Our fingers are so close to our brains, and yet just giving them the signal to articulate separately can be so challenging. Good, and release. You can see the redness, purplishness in my hands as the blood is pooling up, and even see some of the veins trying to get the blood back out of my arms, back to the heart. These exercises are very powerful. Next, I'm going to teach you a really fun massage to help to move energy through your forearms. I call this squeezing the toothpaste. Make a fist with your left hand, and then make a ring with your right arm around your forearm. Squeeze your forearm as if you were squeezing toothpaste, and then open your hand gradually flexing at or extending at the wrist. And then reverse it. Make a fist as you pull in the opposite direction, closing the fist. Opening the fist and palm as you move towards the wrist, and then moving towards the elbow as you squeeze the fist together, back and forth a few times. Now, as you do this, of course, the right hand that's doing the massage is getting very strong. And then switch, circling the webbing of your finger around the forearm muscles. You want to get this nice meat here, right here at the top of the elbow, especially if you have tennis elbow. Make a fist and then squeeze the toothpaste as you open the palm, and then make a fist as you move away from the hand. Up and down, massaging right through those forearm muscles, extensors of the forearms and the flexors of the forearms. So the fingers are also a little bit digging in to the underside of the arm here as you're doing this. This is a great way to flush out stagnant energy. All these muscles get real sticky and close together. Next, let's tune up our forearms a bit more. Bring your right arm forward and the left elbow and arm right on top of it. Bend at both elbows and then coil your forearms around each other, trying to touch your two palms together. From here, it's pretty obvious that the forearms are wrapping around each other, almost like two flames looping around. From here, what I would like you to do is to increase the twist in the forearms. Press your palms together and try to overdo the wrapping around of the forearms, wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. You'll also feel this in your shoulders. Good. Slowly release and switch your arms. Now the right arm is on top of the left. You bend your elbows, wrap your forearms around each other. So it's as you're going to applaud yourself here, and then rotate the forearms around each other. And you can do this by actually pushing your palms into each other and twisting the wrists around without breaking them, of course. So everything stays very firm and long. And you'll get a really nice rotation in the two forearm bones all the way up through the wrists. And this always looks to me like a flame that's rising. And if you wish, you can even lift your flame higher and higher, and that will get you deep into the back of the shoulder blade as well. Good. And release. Let's take ourselves down to the ground. Slowly lower your way down to the floor. Bend your knees and turn your hands so that your fingertips are pointing directly at your knees. This is a dramatic stretch for the wrists and the forearms. Now, if this hurts, you already want to back off and lean so that you have a more obtuse angle here between the forearms and the hand. But if you can bear it, increase your angle by leaning back. Slowly begin to peel your palm away from the floor. Your thumb is going to come up along with your palm. All four of your fingers remain on the floor. This is going to provide a massive stretch across all the muscles of your fingers that you've been contracting in this lesson. Breathe deeply and then try to pull just the first knuckle of your finger off the floor. Very specific tuning in the fingers. Then pull the second knuckle, stretching across them, finally all the way to the fingertips. And then look at your hot red hands filled with fresh blood. Go ahead and roll your wrists around, shake it out. You can also pull at the hands, trying to separate the hands away from the forearms. Enjoy your newfound hands and wrists. Thanks for tuning up. See you soon. We'll begin with grips for our hands and forearms. Stretch both arms straight off to the sides. Make fists with all 5 of your fingers, curling them in, and then spread the fingers as far apart as possible. Do that again and again and again, as if you were gripping something, gripping gel, a very firm gel. As strong as you can be pulling in is as strong as you want to be flicking out, so that we strengthen both the extensors and the flexors of our hands, in and out. People that work with their hands all day long, like hairdressers or massage therapists or dog groomers, or even people that use the computer mouse and the keyboard, are bound to get fatigue in the forearm muscles, hands, and fingers. Your fingers are extremely powerful, especially your opposable thumb. So the grips will further tone them completely so that no finger is left behind. Increase the pace, but don't lose the precision. Close, open, open, close, open, close. A little byproduct of this is that your deltoids are getting really strong also. Good. And release. Your forearms and your hands may feel like lead right now with all that blood rushing through them. Next, extend your wrists completely. It's as if that you're trying to push against 2 imaginary pillars next to you. Spread the fingers as wide as possible and then begin to turn the forearms and the wrists as if the two forearms and palms were resting on turntables. So imagine now that you're a very famous DJ and you're doing a wiki, scratchy here with both palms at once. You're trying to circle the forearm bones around each other. Two turntables. Keep pulling the fingers apart and trying to bend the wrist back towards your elbows. Now, I'm moving my elbows a lot here. Try not to move your elbows so much. You may need to look at your hands from time to time. We don't often exercise our forearms, so this is a little tricky. Good, and release. Wow, you can feel all that energy going through here. Next, I call this a flower bud movement. You want to totally create a flexed, closed down wrist and squeeze the fingers together without bending the fingers. So our fingertips come together like you're dangling flower buds, two dangling flower buds. And then you want to dangle the flower buds. So you move the forearms again, and that moves these wrists, dangling flower buds. Now, one wrist might have more motion than the other, and you may not know that unless you actually look at them. Even though we're using our hands and our fingers all the time, it's bizarre, but we don't often necessarily understand fully what they're doing. We take it for granted. So when you find these blind spots that the Yoga Tune-Ups show you, you want to dig in, open up, strengthen, and go in there with all of your awareness. Good. Release that. Next, a nice stretch for your forearms and your wrists. My right hand wraps around the outside of my left palm. My fingers are looking for the web between my thumb and index finger. The right hand's thumb now presses into the outside of the wrist and forearm of the left arm, and then I just flip and rotate my forearm and wrist around, stretching across the forearms into the wrist and breathing. A nice twist of the forearms and a nice stretch of the thumb at the same time. Good. Slowly release. My left hand now wraps around to the back of that right hand. The fingers creep into the webbing. My thumb of the left hand finds the back of the wrist, not breaking at the wrist, but the wrist is going to stay nice and flat. Find the outer bone of the wrist, of the forearm rather, and then flip the forearm over. So I have a nice long blade on the underside of my arm. You're also pulling at the webbing here to open the thumb away from the palm and the fingers, stretching across your forearms. Excellent. And that was your 5-minute Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix. The tiny bones of our wrists and hands are miracles of nature, enabling us to be proficient with everything from threading a needle to typing on computer keyboards to playing with a Rubik's Cube. These muscles need to be strengthened and stretched just like the other larger muscles of your body. Use this 5-minute Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix to boost circulation and the fine muscle mechanics of your hands, wrists, and elbows. Let's get started. The incidence of carpal tunnel syndrome and tennis elbow is staggering in modern times. Repetitive stress from any activity that overuses the tiny muscles of our hands and forearms can contribute to both of these conditions. Use this Yoga Tune-Up Quick Fix to help awaken the full range and power of some of these finer muscles and joints. In this series, you will also learn an excellent self-massage technique called squeezing the toothpaste to radically improve circulation in the forearms and help stimulate blood flow up into the tendons of the elbow. Keep practicing these techniques so your hands will last a pain-free lifetime. Let's get started.